Email marketing is probably one of the most important things you can do on the web, and it's also one of the most least understood things that's done on the web. And because of that, very few businesses really do email marketing right and to its full advantage. Let's look at some fundamentals about email marketing and what you need to do to really have a super email marketing campaign. I think it's important first to realize that your email has to have value. I mean, when you think about email, I'm sure you think, well, I get a lot of junk mail, I delete a lot of that, I don't want to be sending junk mail to people. Well, people don't want to receive your junk mail. They'll delete it. But if it's important, if it's of value, it'll get read. In fact, it'll get more than read. It'll be distributed to other people. So you have emails that you look forward to getting. You have emails that you get on a regular basis, that you save, that you read, that you take the time to look over. That is what your email needs to be to your customers. And it doesn't have to be, tens of thousands of subscribers. It's great if you have that many, but it's much better to have a real narrow focus set of subscribers that you can go after and know that you're going to see either good conversions from that group or just a good response. So the more important emails are going to also be more focused, and so you'll probably have a smaller list, which is fine because we just don't want to do that. I mean, you don't want to fill up people's mailboxes with junk, and so the days of doing that are pretty much over because, for one thing, spam filters will filter it out, and the response rates are so low it's not worth doing it. And for that reason, we feel like if your email is going to be important, it's going to have to be an opt-in. It's going to have to be something that people are looking forward to receiving and that they've asked to receive. So we don't recommend that you go to outside lists and try to bombard people with your emails. We just don't think that's the way to get results. So think of your email really as an article with information, something like a newspaper article would be, content-rich information that your customers want to read. And then within that email, though, it should definitely be a link through to your website or a link through to more information, and then that is what's going to drive people to convert and of course, have an offer in your email to help them convert. If you're doing e-commerce and you have loyal customers, then they're going to be looking for offers coming via email. In fact, this past holiday season, which was 2008, was a huge season for discounts and special offers coming through via email. The content in your email, really, when you talk about the email being an article, what I'm talking about here is the idea that you want to help people do their job better or improve the quality of their life. That's what the content should do. And for many of you doing business-to-business marketing, it's going to be helping people with their job, the challenges of their job, and that's what your business does. And so your emails need to be a send-off from that as well. It's real important that any email that you send out takes people to a specific page so that there's a connection between the email and the content they just read and the click through to your website and the page that they see on your website. You can default to your home page, but that's probably not going to be as effective as if you have a landing page specifically for that email, or use one of your products or service pages as a landing page from your email campaigns. As far as getting people to sign up, this is a major conversion point on websites. We recommend that for the most part you put in the left or in the upper left a box for people to sign in, and we found that the fewer requirements that you put on people, the more email addresses you're going to get. For example, if you just ask for the email address, you'll have the highest conversion rate. If you ask for name and email, the conversion rate starts to drop, and the more fields that you include, the fewer people will give you their email address. Now, we feel like this is not an important way to qualify folks because if they're giving you their email, then they're qualified enough. Now, if you're doing B2B, don't be surprised if you see a lot of email addresses that are, Yahoo accounts or Gmail accounts or just generic free accounts. People, in fact, the majority of people give out their, their Yahoo or their Gmail email accounts for things that they subscribe to, and they do this because they don't want to see, for a lot of reasons, privacy reasons. They don't want to see a lot of mail coming to their offices and that sort of thing. They want to see that mail go to a box they can have control over, and so that's why you'll see a lot of email addresses come through as Yahoo and Gmail. So don't feel like you're not targeting your market correctly. That's normal to see that. And of course, one of the wonderful things about running email campaigns is you can track all the stats. You can see who's opening the email, what pages they're looking at on your website, what links they're clicking on the email, what kind of conversion rate you're getting. And we found that if you have a loyal targeted base, you could see click-through rates on emails of up to 30%. And in fact, you should see up to 50% of the people open the email and take the time to look at it. So email stats can be very strong if you have a loyal group of subscribers, and you should be tracking all those stats. Frequently people ask me, well, how often should we do an email? How often should it go out? And our recommendations is, it depends on how aggressive you are and how much content you need to get out there to people, but at least monthly. And some businesses would probably go bi-monthly, but you want to have email going out on a regular basis. You want to stay in touch with people and then tie that into an offer, tie it into a conversion on your website. We also found that email can be a challenge, and one of the reasons we don't see a lot of email campaigns and people doing this is because they don't have someone to write the content. I mean, companies are stressed for time, and people have their jobs to do, and now we're going to ask them to start writing content for an email blast. So that's a challenge. So you might have to hire an outside person to help you with the email copy, or you have to train someone internally to do this, but it is going to be a very important position. I would recommend that the person that's writing copy for your website also write copy for email. And you have to keep in mind that there are certain rules around writing copy for the web, whether it's email or your website. You've got to be brief and to the point. You need to use bullet points. You need to avoid a lot of graphics, and you need to get people to the point pretty quickly because they will scan over your email just like they'll scan over your website. So in order to do this, it might really make sense to hire a writer to get this content done. So here's some email marketing fundamentals. You can sign up for our email at our website, intuitivewebsites.com, and get a sense of how we do this. We send out a regular email that's content rich and has links back to our website. You should probably follow that same strategy. Well, in the next video, we're going to take a look at content distribution and social marketing.